Hello whiskey lovers, and welcome to another one of Mark's Whiskey Ramblings. Today I am returning to my favorite lowland distillery, Auchentoshan. And as you know, I am the Toshan man, and so I collect quite a few Auchentoshan. But as you can see, I not just only collect the officials, but also the independent bottlings. And I even drink them. These are my open independent Auchentoshan at this moment. But today I want to talk to you about a new independent bottling, and it's actually a Belgian independent bottling. It's this one, the Auchentoshan 24-year-old 1991, the single sherry cask, bottled by Asta Morris. Now, if you check my ramblings, you will see that I have already done quite a few on Asta Morris. There's one with a Ben Riach, there's also one with a Dermul, and I even did one about a gin, because Asta Morris also has a gin which is called Nog, and Nog is an acronym for No Ordinary Gin. What's not ordinary about his gin is the fact that it is barrel aged. He actually puts his gin on whiskey barrels that he has bottled, and then that gin gets a bit of a hue, a bit of a golden glow, and that makes it a special gin. Now, I have been told that once this cask of Auchentoshan was bottled, it was actually filled with that gin. So soon there will be a Nog gin finished or aged on Auchentoshan cask. Anyway, today we want to talk about this one. Asta Morris has quite an international reputation. They have already bottled quite a few for the Japanese market, for example, including an Ardmore, a Lechic, and very recently and very exclusively a Chichibu Japanese whiskey. Unfortunately, that is not available in my neck of the woods, and neither was this supposed to be, because this Auchentoshan 24-year-old was also destined for Gaia Flow, was also destined for the Japanese market. But luckily, being the Toshan man, I was able to secure a couple of bottles for my collection. One to put in the collection, one to savor. There we go. So this is the first bottling of my favorite Lowlander Auchentoshan by Asta Morris. And like I said, it is a single cask. It is a single sherry cask that was put to sleep in 1991 and bottled after almost a quarter century. The cask yielded 210 bottles. Now again, these were for the Japanese market, so I'm quite lucky to have it. It is bottled at a drinking strength of 50%. So remember, this is not cask strength. This is actually drinking strength. Now here's a tip before you try it, and as you can see I've tried it before, leave it to breathe for a little while. You have to pour it beforehand, because there is a certain herbal sharpness to it once you've poured it. But if you pour it beforehand and leave it a couple of minutes to breathe before you start drinking it, or savoring it I should say, nosing it, then that initial sharpness will have evaporated, and what you get is the following. So 50% drinking strength, a beautiful deep golden color, old gold on the nose. Ooh, this is dark and succulent. This is prunes, figs. I get some Arabica coffee. I get some maraschino cherries. A bit of rose water, and again the herbal elements like ferns and camphor are clearly there, but this is beautifully layered. This is very nice, very complex on the palate. Very creamy, very syrupy. It's a bit piquant at first, but then it becomes very sweet and the fruit returns in full force. This was clearly a rather active sherry cask. It is dark and sweet, and in my opinion it does not need water, but I've tried it before and can actually cope elegantly with just a few drops, but really it doesn't need it. If you taste it like this, it's really very pure and creamy, and I have to be honest, the influence of the sherry cask is rather big, but it's not a problem when it tastes this good. The finish is long and very soft, very soothing. I admit the typical Auchentoshan character is somewhat hidden in the influence of the sherry cask, but like I said, that's fine, because this is truly a magnificent malt. It reminds me a bit of the Auchentoshan Solera, but on steroids, if you know what I mean. And it's even in the same price bracket. It's around 150 euros. I have to say, this one would be a perfect after dinner dram, and this one gets the stamp Toshan man approved. Asta Morris, very well done, sir. This is a very good cask that you've selected. This is a very fine Auchentoshan. And that's all for this Whiskey Rambling, and I hope to see you again at one of Mark's Whiskey Ramblings real soon. And until then, may the malt be with you. Bye bye.